watching the other people over the years that have hired a coach, that have systems, top 5%, so, and then the rest of us, we do the roller coaster ride. We burn out, over and over, and improving. Now I'm married, and and she wants to spend time, and I knew that if I continued on that path, I wouldn't be married. I fail probably more than anybody I know.
I'm here with Brooks Friedland, aka Birch Bay Brooks. He is a purpose-driven real estate agent whose evolution over his business really tells a story of burnout to balance, resilience, reinvention, and relevance. His journey is marked by radical self-awareness, creative problem solving, and a deep desire to build systems that honor his ambition and his personal life. And you'll find throughout this conversation that Brooks he's just one of the most powerful players in the real estate industry today, whether he's launching a land buyer newsletter or embracing video marketing for the first time, which we just talked about. Brooks doesn't just pivot what he's doing, he really upgrades his life and upgrades what he's doing. So his story today is going to challenge the hustle and grind model. He's going to show you that intentionality, systems, and shifting his mindset are truly what has been the story to his success. So welcome, Brooks. I'm glad you're here.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So tell a little bit about who you are. We know, how long have you been in the business? I say Birch Bay. For other people who don't know that, where is that? And tell a little about why you're in real estate.
Okay. I kind of fell into real estate by accident. Let's see, 1998, I was living in Seattle. I bought a condo downtown, and the government shut the business down. So I had no other means to make the mortgage payments. I thought real estate would be a quick, easy. Yeah.
And what'd you learn? If you thought real estate was quick and easy, what'd you learn?
Yeah, right. And when we talk about burnout, we talk about waste of time and money and energy. I've done it all. So, it's just in the last year and a half that I finally hired you as a coach, and, and to really simplify and systemize what I'm doing. So the results have been great. I appreciate that. So like I said, 1998, I got into the business, moved from Bellingham to Seattle, graduated from Western, and, had the whole plate. I was just waiting to do something. 1 month, I went to work at Coldwell Banker Bain. So the first month, I dated a lady from the office, and then she got pregnant, so we had a baby boy 9 months later, right? Still no sales. So it went a year. I finally got my first listing. It was a restaurant in Federal Way that turned into a massage parlor. Really a tough property to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sold it though. You sold it? That was your first listing?
Yeah, it was my first listing. It took about a year and a half. Yeah, I sold it to a gentleman named Doug Huntington who owned Horizon Mortgage. And the only way that he was going to close on the deal, which I definitely needed the money, was I had to work for him, originating loans. So now they're and a loan officer.
Okay.
Working in Federal Way in a seedy massage parlor that smelled like real sweet body odor. It was absolutely insane. So originated loans for 10 years and was a real estate agent. Okay.
So when did you stop originating loans?
10 years. So it's 2010, right after the big meltdown.
Got it. So you did loan origination from 98 to 2008.
Yeah, or 2010.
2010. Okay. So you got in loan. So you did loans from 98 to 2010.
Yeah.
And is that when you decided to go gung-ho into real estate?
Well, I was a licensed realtor, and I was selling new construction at the same time.
Okay.
So I was wearing two hats.
Okay.
Not
when
well. Just want to be clear.
Just want to make sure we're clear. He wasn't doing it well. Okay. So when did you go? When was your first, what you would consider your first full year in real estate? Like as in your current way that you do real estate?
Probably 2020.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Good. So 5 years. But so you've been in it since 98, essentially. But just really kind of started going after real estate as your full-time thing in 2020.
Yeah, that I did hire a coach, temporary coach, which was good. And so, I needed to figure out, now I'm 60 years old. I need to figure out, what am I really going to do with my life? It's kind of a late bloomer, but I know that watching the other people over the years that have hired a coach, that have systems, are the ones that really make it. They're the top 10%, top 5%. So, and in the rest of us, we do the roller coaster ride. We burn out. We switch brokerages. It's just, and I didn't want to do that. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. I just wanted to focus on the customers, deliver, great service. That's when actually I found you.
So tell me real quick before we go into that, tell me your first year in real estate, how many houses did you sell?
I sold zero. It took me 2 years to sell the CD massage parlor.
Okay, so
Right.
2 years. That was your first closing. Okay.
Yeah.
2 years. Okay.
I went to work, did a lot of new construction over the years,
Uh-huh.
which is, learning the product, you meet, you greet, you qualify, and then you close, and it's sort of the same thing. So I worked for a semi, new home construction kind of CD company, Newco Homes. We were selling probably, sometimes 5 homes a month. And you make $60,000 a year, and you have enough money for gas, uh, McDonald's, and kind of living.
So tell me, like, so first of all, I don't know if we've ever really talked about the new construction thing. I know that you did it, but we never talked about it. So it was like 5 homes a month is what you were involved in, and you made $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean,
Yeah.
not cool. Okay. All right. Now I have never really understood how much new construction gets paid. So now I know. So that being said, your first full year as a solo agent
Yeah.
was 2020. How many homes did you sell in 2020?
2.
Two. And you know what's really interesting is 2020 is when a lot of people really like had great years.
Yeah, I know. I
Right?
watched. Yeah.
Yeah, you watched them all. You watched them all. So 2020, like that was my, my second or third, my best year was 2022 actually, or 2021 actually. But 2020, I think I sold like 19 homes, and you sold 2. Not comparing, but just tell me, like, because you said you watched it, right? So tell me what kind of you were going through in 2020 when the business felt very easy for a lot of people, but I think your story is different. Because a lot of people, I would say, think that 2020 was a really easy year to sell a lot of houses.
Yeah, right. So I had just moved to San Juan Island,
Okay.
2019. Started with Sotheby's there, and then went to Windermere. The San Juan Island was great. Talk about a cutthroat environment, with the agents on the island. So that was really tough.
Got it. So is it very like very community, like very local? Because I know a lot of communities are very like local. So
Yeah.
were you kind of the new kid on the block?
Yeah, I was.
Got
So
it.
yeah,
Okay.
and they're very aggressive.
Okay.
It was extreme. My wife ran the hospital on the island. She didn't want to be landlocked, so we ended up moving to Birch Bay,
Okay.
and that was 2022.
Okay. So 2020, you sold 2 houses.
Yeah.
How many did you sell in 2021? Because you were still on the island in 2021.
Yeah, as half and half. Probably 4.
So 4 your second year. Okay.
Yeah,
See,
4.
I love.
Okay, 4 pieces of land.
Oh, 4 pieces of land. Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the price point on that?
Oh, average price is $100,000.
So you're making less than what you were making at new construction.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Right.
I'm just doing the math real quick in my head. I'm like, that's probably less than
right.
that. Yeah. Okay. So, so 2 homes in 2020, 4 homes in 2021. And then like you have like excelled since then, right? And so tell me a little bit about what you did. I mean, because you went, I think your story is 4 in 2021 to like, didn't you do like 36 or something in 2022?
In 2020, yeah, in 2023, I did 30. In 2024, I did like 36.
Okay. And then this year, at the beginning of the year, you were on track for 1 a week.
Yes, 1 a week.
Yeah.
50 goal.
Say it one more time.
50 for the year.
And then where are you at right now for the year?
Right now I'm about, to see, 26, 28.
So you've sold 28 pieces of 28 homes, 28 transactions.
Yeah.
We're in September of 2025. And that, by the way, is significantly more than the average agent has sold over the last 2 years, not just the last year.
Right.
So talk to me a little bit about the story of Brooks in 2020 when you were struggling to 2025 when you're quite clearly thriving. So what happened? I mean, I know that we got into some coaching. We'll talk about that, but like there were some things that had to happen up here.
Yeah.
There were some things that had to happen up here. So tell me what that was all. Tell me about that.
Definitely it's a mindset thing. So really, I just recently was married, and and my wife was telling me, look, if you can't, make enough money to survive, or you know what it would cost you just to live, then you need to find something else. And I thought, like what? And she goes, I don't know, you can drive a truck. And I said, I'm not driving a truck. So it was
I like that she had that idea though. At least she came to you with an idea, not just a problem. At least she came to you with a solution.
right. Yeah, she did too, and she was very clear. So she gave me 6 months to figure
Okay.
it out.
Okay.
Okay. I watched for the first 3 months. I watched other agents and how they were doing it. The successful ones, the ones that were just burnout, and the ones that did nothing, and realized I can do this. That's when I hired a Tom Ferry coach,
Okay.
and and that was great. It was definitely a game changer for me. It was the mindset that we worked on, and then we started developing systems and a routine, and stop doing the things that didn't pay me, just spinning my wheels, and we went through, yeah, so I would have to say that that's exactly where was the mind shift.
The mindset shift from being like, first of all, you had to tell yourself, I can do this. And the
Yeah.
other thing you said that I think is really important because other people are going to watch this. So other thing that I think that was really important is that you watched other people.
Yeah.
You're like, these are the successful people. And what sort of behaviors or patterns did you notice in what you consider to be the successful people?
That they had systems, they had a routine,
Okay.
uh, and when I say systems, the real successful ones had a system for money management, they had a systems for lead generation, they had a systems for routines, for marketing, and it's really hard if you don't have somebody to help you with that, because what happens is you get halfway through it, it's not working, and then you find another shiny coin. Yeah. So and I was pounding the pavement, or up early, working, hustling. So I guess that it was a mind shift, and then I started working, and then I had two sales, and then I had enough money to actually fill up my tank, get something to eat, and and then pay for some advertising or some marketing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then at night I'd go home, and I would just start you know working on my presentation, working on my follow up. So there's a lot to it, but once you get it, and uh, you figure out what's working, what's not, it gets better.
Yeah, I like that. It's like one step at a time, right? You started doing one thing and it got you this result. And then you got another thing and then it got you this result. And then another thing and it got you this result.
Yeah, and then you build your confidence, right? So confidence is definitely that's part of the mind shift. It's probably one of the biggest components. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I've gone after business now that really polished professionals went after, and it was a very competitive environment, and won, and that feels great.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's important. Like confidence is one of those things that a lot of times I get asked a lot, like, how do you build confidence? How do you get more confident in doing what you're doing? And I mean, I have an answer for that, but what would your answer be? How do you build confidence?
By doing it, yeah, over and over, and improving. What didn't work, what worked, and then after you start you losing a bunch in a row, and then you get one, you know, and you feel good, and you have to put the work in too. So, and that's the other part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like actually like doing it and doing it again and again and
Yeah.
again. Like it's like taking action consistently. I think that's what really builds confidence. And I will say, I think that's one of the things that you do really well. Because you know, when we first started working together, I mean, you kind of had all these great ideas. You're like, I'm going to do this and this and this. I mean, because we're very similar in the way that we act, right? We're very like, I'm so excited about things because we love what we do. And I think one of the things that I've noticed more about you is you didn't come to me with not having results. You had good results when you were coming to me. You wanted to have a shift, not in the, your shift that you wanted was less about selling more houses and making more money. It was more about, I want balance. I want a life. I want my wife to love, I want my wife to want to be married to me.
Right.
So talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, so after I started closing deals. Um, it was taking it was full time, you know, job. I was self consumed, right? So now I'm married, and and she wants to spend time, and I knew that if I continued on that path, I wouldn't be married. So and I think that's probably a common issue with a lot of the agents, especially the successful ones.
Well, it's my story too. Like, you know, my story. My story is very similar to that, right? I came home one day and my husband was like, dude, I did not marry you so you could be married to your job. And like you, I wanted a happy marriage and a healthy business. I wanted both. I didn't want to have to choose between my husband and what I love to do. So we have a very similar story in that case.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because when I went to one of your I don't know, your intros, to see if we were going to be a good fit, and that was important to me, is to work 8 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 4 or 5 days a week, and then to have a balanced life. That was the goal, not how much money or how many sales I could make.
And do you think that do you think that you've gotten closer to that goal?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you just came back from an awesome vacation.
That's right. So we just went to Europe, and we just came back, and that was wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. When's the last time you went on a vacation before this one?
A year ago.
A year ago. Where'd you go a year ago?
Europe.
And was it different? Was your business, did it feel different being gone this time than it was last time?
A little bit. Things were actually they kind of ran on autopilot. I could manage the business with my phone over there.
Yeah. And before, could you do that?
No.
What do you think is different between before and now?
I hired some support, which has been a game changer as well.
Yeah. So what made you decide to hire support? Because most of the time when people come to work with me, they're like, I don't want to hire anybody. I want to do it all myself. And I'm like, no, 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 no. They're not going to work. We're going to fix that for you.
Well, yeah, you definitely had a big influence. You were telling me the things that we figured out how much money I make in an average hour,
Mm-hmm.
and anything less than that, I hired out. And
Good.
yeah.
Good.
So,
I mean, there are still some things that you like to do yourself. Let's be real.
right.
We all have.
Yeah, and there's some things I still live on the mind stuff that I don't have somebody for that. So I have to I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let it go. And then you.
Well, I think that's important. Like it's like it's not something that you just because you have a mindset shift and you're working to move into that new place that you want to be doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. Right?
That's right.
It doesn't mean that just because that's what you want today doesn't mean that you're going to automatically be like, okay, I'm ready to do it. Right? You still have to look. You still have to build the confidence. You still have to build up to the point where you feel comfortable.
Yeah, there's nothing that's going to replace systems. I can't go where I want to go without systems.
Mm-hmm.
And then so how do you build systems if you don't know how to build a system?
Great question. How do you do that?
You find somebody that's done it, and then and then you hire them to help.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's really what the difference is that I was actually doing a video this morning. I don't know if I'll put it out, but it was about tools tools,
Yeah.
right? And my tools were makeup brushes, right? It's a very, very relatable analogy. You can spend, I basically have a brush that I think I spent $150. It's a makeup brush. And you probably don't know anything about this because unless you wear makeup, I don't know. But it's a $150 brush. And I bought it 10 years ago. And at the time I was like, $150 for a brush? Like I could go to the counter next door and get the same brush for like $10. That's 10 years ago, $10 for a brush, $150 for a brush. And I looked at another brush that I had that was like maybe $20, and I bought it like a year ago, and the $20 one I have to replace already.
Uh-huh.
So I'm looking at this $150 brush and thinking, man, it was kind of like $150 10 years ago. I was kind of like you. I wasn't in the position to just have $150, just put it something that like wasn't, I didn't have a lot of money then. And so $150 investing in something then, as simple as a makeup brush, like if you think about the fact that I've used the same brush pretty much every day for the last 10 years and I haven't had to replace it, and it's still getting me where I want to go, still having my mornings be efficient, getting me what I want 10 years later, because I implemented one thing that was a high value
Right.
10 years ago.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, and that's the way I look at things now. So, am I going to get $150 of value out of that? Can I get $300 out of a $150
Right.
brush? Yeah.
Yep. And the answer is yeah. If you spend $150 on a brush, you can get a $300 value. So tell me a little bit more about resilience. I think that you're a very resilient person. You bounce back like that, right? Like you've had a lot of setbacks, obviously, in your career, but even this year, even as we've worked together, you've had some setbacks. You've had like things that were going to happen and didn't happen, but you've always proven to be resilient and just, okay, let's try the next thing, right? Let's move to the next best step. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Again, it's a mind shift thing, mindset. Yeah. I fail probably more than anybody I know. But I don't fail if I fall down and I get up. It's just one of those things. I mean, it took me 13 years, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but I knew that I was going to graduate from college as long as I kept going. So it's the same with business, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I can't do it in 1 year, and if it takes me 2 years, so what? And a lot of times it'll take me longer than I think it will, or it'll be harder than I think it will. And and I'm okay with that. So, and as long as I don't quit, I'm not going to lose. And that's just it's kind of the way it is. Yeah, I'll reinvent myself many times. You know, over the years in real estate, which I actually love, but I really like real estate a lot more now than I have in the past.
Mm.
I replaced the burnout with enjoyment. Right. So it's and this year I've done a lot of that. So a lot of growing on the inside to know where do I want to go, what do I want to do.
And
You know,
where do you want to go, and what do you want
yeah. So well, that's it. So it changes often, but I have a few pillars that I'm working on.
to? Okay.
The land, it just kind of comes to me, which I don't mind at all. Um, I'm going into senior aging placement because I'm looking at the demographics in the future, and I see a huge wave of business there. I don't know what's going to happen with AI,
Mm-hmm.
and how many people are going to be replaced. And but I'll use AI to benefit whatever I'm going to do. So I'm not scared about that. And so that was the one thing that I was hearing over and over again. AI is going to replace you. And I thought about it for a long time, and I thought, we were drowning in data, but it's all about relationships. So I'm going to use somebody that has a relationship over somebody with the data, and that can just save me, a dollar. And so with that mindset, now I'm just geared towards just having fun with people, and it's really working.
I love
Uh,
it.
these are kind of the things that I've developed through you and other people, and I'm thrilled. And maybe that's where the wisdom or experience comes from.
Yeah, I love it. So you've really like shown over reinventing yourself. You said it a second ago. You like to reinvent yourself, and you've done that, right? You have started by not having any business, taking 2 years to sell your first property, doing loans, doing new construction, kind of like moving into this, like all of a sudden you're a dad, right? Like nine
Yeah,
months after meeting someone, you're a dad. You're like, okay, I guess I get to start over now, right? So you kind of like have proven time and time again that you're reinventing yourself. So it's really cool to watch you like move into this next version of Brooks, like
yeah,
Brooks, version 2.0 or whatever you want to call it. Like it's really cool to watch you move into that version and just kind of see like from when we first started working together to now and just see the difference in because I mean I am a witness to you reinventing yourself.
yeah. Thanks. One of the things I thought was I was driving down in Everett, and there's a company called Scott Paper, which became Kimberly Clark.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, I looked up Kimberly Clark, and they own a bunch of timber companies.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I know about land is they usually have an easement. I contacted Kimberly Clark in Atlanta, their international division, and
Mm-hmm.
I said, do you have any lots, one offs when you sell that are on your books that you're just paying taxes on? So as it turns out, they're giving me 24 properties to list in October. And
Next
kind
week.
of back and wondering, yeah, and so I thought, well, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you already have the listing agreement signed on that?
We're getting it approved right now to their North American division.
Okay, we'll wait to post this until after you have that agreement signed so people don't try to go steal that from you.
Yeah, right. Oh, they get right. It's not that easy, but yeah, but either.
Yeah, I know.
Uh,
I love it. Okay, so tell me real quick. I want to talk about the community, right? Because I do want to talk a little bit more about coaching. And tell me, the coaching community that you're involved in now. Talk to me about that. What does it do for you? Do you think it's helpful for you? Is it different than what you've experienced before?
yeah, the coaching I'm receiving now it's not canned. Okay, so Tom Ferry coaching works. It's great. Some people call it expensive. Um, but the coaching now is it's tailored. So I come up with an idea, we develop it, and it's really hands on. We have a small group that we work with, and I've watched them develop too. You know, it
Yeah.
was Rima. I mean, she was. I swear to God, she was scared of her own shadow, and it, and I just went, oh, I feel for her, right?
Mhm.
She is doing so great, and she is just wonderful,
Uh-huh.
and actually, and everybody that I work with, we've really learned, and we've grown together, and it's exciting to watch the other people you work with and watch the results come in. So
Yeah, I can 100%. It makes me excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all these results. It's so cool. It's so cool to see. And I'll be honest, sometimes I get really jealous of you guys because I'm like, man, I should go out and like, because, my real estate business, as we know, it's more passive for me now. It's more, I've really chosen to focus on this because I love this so much. But I'm looking at you guys, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm going to go do what you do. So thank you for inspiring me.
yeah, right. Oh, it's exciting too,
Yeah.
and it's so rewarding. I mean, I love it. I look forward to every class. What's really unique with your class is it's whatever. If the company I work for has, they want you to go out and recruit other people, and so we can tailor it towards that if that's our aim. I haven't done any social media. I hate being on in front of a camera, and now we're working on that.
There's your camera going off again.
Yeah, I uh, yeah. So I'm really excited about everything. I'm excited about where my future's going. The burnout that I used to experience was just it's atrocious. It's the roller coaster ride, especially in today's market. I look at back, and I went through 2008. 2012, 14, even 2000, we had the tech bubble. And and so I've gone through a lot of these cycles, and I
Yeah.
look at this, and I don't know where we're going, but it could be just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah.
but not for me though. I'm not worried about it because I just have a great business, and it's really I'm systemizing it, and yeah, I'm thrilled.
Yeah, you have the business, you have the things that are in place that are going to help you get to or sustain this market shift that we're about to move into. Because
Right.
we're definitely moving into a market that I don't think anyone's seen in the last, in at least the last 30 years. And so I think that right now you are really set up to have success in what we're about to walk into. So
Yeah.
kudos to you. I'm excited for that.
And actually, I know this is going to sound bad, but um, there's going to be about 70% of the agents that are going to leave,
Yeah.
and that's
There's going to be a bunch of new ones that come in too.
yeah.
And there's someone is a quote that said millionaires are made in tough markets. Millionaires are made in tough markets. And I can't remember who said that. But it's true. Like if you look at the history of market recessions, of our major recessions, like Airbnb came out of a recession, right? Netflix came out of a recession. I mean, EXP Realty came out of a recession. So you start to see in the recessions or in the market downturns like this is where you start to see the game changers really shine.
Yeah, that's right. And I totally believe that.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so final question I have for you is, let's say you're talking to an agent who feels stuck, they feel burned out, they feel overworked, they feel underappreciated. What message do you have for them? What inspiring thing do you have to say to them?
I'm going to ask them, are they tired of the burnout, switching brokerages, and just kind of spending money and just turning the wheels? Um, I would suggest to them that they get a coach. And so, and a coach can do so many things. And like I said, most coaches are canned. It's basically you pay $2, you get this. I would encourage them to use you, or at least to look into it, because I'm developing my social media. We were talking about VAs, right? I have no idea where to even find how to post for a VA, and so it's something I'm not going to do unless somebody can help me with it. So I'm thrilled now that I'm going to be doing my social media, and I'm going to be sending it overseas to have a VA, which it's going to save me a lot of money. So these are the kind of things that I'm looking forward to, where I can save money, save time, deliver a polished presentation. I would really encourage them. There's so much business out there that so I share it with everybody.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's so much business to go around.
Yeah,
and
more.
and more there's plenty. I don't even think there's enough registered real estate agents in the country to handle each business, right? I mean, obviously there's going to be a few of us who take market share, and you want to be one of those, but there's plenty of business to go around.
Yeah, if you want it, right? But more than just wanting it, you need to know how to get it.
Correct.
Yeah,
And keep it.
yeah, and keep it, right, and not work too much. Save your marriage.
Yeah.
So so
It's not worth it in my opinion. Losing sight of your social life and yourself and your marriage over your business. There's no, you can do both. You can totally have a super happy, thriving, healthy marriage with a partner who doesn't work with you too, by the way. Like there's a lot of people in this industry who work with their partners, right? But
yeah,
like, I don't work with mine. You don't work with yours.
no,
And so it's possible to have a thriving, healthy marriage when you don't work with someone, um,
yeah,
and have a healthy business as well.
right. So the answer to the question is, yeah, I would encourage them. I would tell everybody to check what you do that's different than what other people do. Yeah, or find somebody that they're willing to work with that's going to help them.
Yeah.
And it's now a global world. Our company. I went to Germany. I went to there's France and Spain, and we're in all these countries,
Mm.
right? And so the VAs, they're all over the world as well. So you just need to know how to find them and to utilize them, and so it's all new.
I love it. I love it. Well, Brooks, thank you so much. It's been awesome. Obviously, always awesome to talk to you, but super awesome to like hear more of your story. I hear every time I sit down and talk to you one on one, I learn a little bit more and a little bit more. I always love to hear a little bit more. So thank you. I think your story is really resonates with a lot of people, and it's really inspiring. So I appreciate you.
Thank you for what you do. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Good.
Everyone, we'll see you on the next episode. Hope you found Brooks' story exciting, relevant. If you have any questions, reach out to Brooks. Is that okay, Brooks? Can they reach?
Yeah, totally. I'd be happy to help.
Yeah, reach out to Brooks. I mean, you can find him on Facebook. You can find him on Instagram.
LinkedIn.
Okay. Brooks Friedland. It's like it's spelled. I don't know if there's a lot of them out there, but hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did find it valuable, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for the next episode.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye.